Hi everyone, this is Hannah here, and we are going to talk about today how to maximize the tax deductions for home-based or mobile business owners. This is actually one of my featured webinar about maximizing the tax deductions, but today I just take the illustration, just use a story that to demonstrate how you can do it and what you can claim and what you cannot claim. And most importantly, is a home, how when you are working from home, how you can maximize that. Okay, so let's just use Robert as an example. He's a fitness trainer and he has his own car to travel to his clients. So for this case, he's self-employed. And if that's like his personal car, he's not able to write off the cost of the car, but he's able to claim the mileage or the business proportion of the car cost, like petrol, like repair or anything. So he can either use a mileage or the proportion of the actual cost, whichever is more favorable. But in this case, it looks like if he uses a mileage, because we can claim 45p per mile for the first 10,000 miles and 25p per mile thereafter. So the total deductible is actually £5,000. In most of cases for self-employed, like mobile business owners, this is the more favorable way to do it. But it really depends on the individual. And if you have a limited company setup, that can be slightly different too, because the company is a separate entity from you. You can either decide to use a company to buy the car or do it yourself. In general, you also need to consider, because if your company is buy the car and then you are using it for personal use, that's a taxable benefit for you. So it's really to decide whether or not that's worthwhile to put the car in the company. But normally, just a little bit tip, if that's a low emission car or electric car, that can be very tax efficient if you use a company to buy the car. But by all means, if you are looking to do that, make sure you do seek for financial, like professional help. You can reach out to me if you want. Okay, so this is the car for personal use. But what if, let's just say, further illustration, what he cannot do, he cannot use as a tax deduction, because there are something people can always this can get like some areas are a bit gray. And of course, there are some very obvious expenses, things like the equipment you use, and stationery and your laptop, business laptop, and anything related. And these are obvious tax deductions. But there are certain things like even if you do use your home as an office, you might not be able to claim 100% of that, of your rent, your mortgage, or your utility. So only the business proportion of that. If you do have a normal office place or normal workplace, for instance, if someone like that Robert, if he works in the gym very regularly on a permanent basis, then the travel from home to that gym, it's a normal commute. It's not deductible. But if that gym is something that is a temporary, he only work there on temporary basis. Here, temporary and permanent can be also very gray as well. It really depends on individual. But if that's temporary, then he can claim that's part of the travel. Grocery bill, that's definitely not, unless you have something, a combination of, you buy things like a combination of business items and personal items, you need to take this business item out. Entertainment, if that's entertaining clients on casual basis, that is not. But of course, if you have like subcontractors and if you buy the meal for them, these are okay, like act of a good gesture. Clothing, even if as a trainer you wear like fitness clothes, you have to buy extra on that. Make sure unless there's a business logo on it, you cannot deduct those, because you could have used that for your personal leisure to when you go to the gym yourself. So yes, be careful on that. And also initial training to become an instructor, that's not deductible. Of course, like any educational courses that is helping you to further your education that you already have, further the qualification that you already have, these are allowed. So just yes, these are the things need to bear in mind. Things that you can claim, but quite often people miss out: mobile phone. If you do use that to communicate with clients or do business calls on your mobile, make sure you do maximize that. If your home internet, because you're working from home and you want to upgrade to business broadband, then upgrade, you can, the premium on the upgrade you can claim as a business expense. And food and food when you have to work elsewhere or attend conferences. So if you travel more than 5 miles away from the normal workplace and you work there for more than 5 hours, then you can claim the food as well. If you do need to stay there overnight, then you can claim the hotel accommodation. Use of home. So I do have a separate explanation on use of home. So this is again another common area that has been asked by a lot of people. So a portion of your rent or mortgage interest, make sure it's mortgage interest, it's not the capital payment, and council tax, broadband. So the business proportion you can pursue as the tax deductions. You can either just use a fixed rate, which is only £4 per week, or you actually look at the percentage of the time spent working on your business at home, or the space you use. Like you have a 2-bedroom home and you use one of them as your office, then you just you need to decide what's a percentage of that space. Water bills are not normally deductible, which is a bit bizarre, water bills, because people have to drink water anyway. But there are also some exceptions, things like I know for a couple of like fitness professionals, they allow their clients to shower in their homes. So in that case, we might be able to claim some of them. But be aware that if you own your home and if you claim this percentage of business use, it might trigger capital gains tax when you eventually sell your home. But of course, for capital gains tax, if everyone, for this year anyway, you have 11,700 capital gain, which is tax-free. So if that's covered under that, then that is fine. Normally, it will, unless you heavily work from home and you claim that heavily, then really be careful about that. Okay, so yes, this is something I want to show you for today. I hope this little story, a little illustration will help you to understand as a home-based business owner or mobile business owner what you can claim and to maximize your tax deductions. So it is August, it's just the middle of around the middle of the tax year, and also for some people they are doing their tax return as well. So yes, if you do have any further questions, be free to reach out to me. And again, I hope you find this one useful, and I hope to see you very soon.